Hey, y'all. Welcome back to Homesick Philly Bros, presented as always by AML Media, our awesome late mother, Alberta Marie Labordi. Love you, Mom. I am Gene Labordi. This is my brother, Stephen Labordi, and on the ones and twos, making all the magic happen for us, is my lovely wife, Rachel Labordi. On that note, you want to give us our plugs?
Okay, we are on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. All of our links are on the screen, so take a screenshot if you're watching the video. Otherwise, head to our website, AML.NEWS.BLOG, and you can find direct links there.
Perfectly done. Another big week for the Birds. Huge win, 48-22. Never really had any question basically through the whole game.
No, this game wasn't even as close as the score indicates.
Yeah, because at the end, and we'll get into that. And just to, I've been pretty right lately, but I just really want to highlight that my score prediction was wrong, but also just as right. I said we were going to blow them out by at least 2 touchdowns. We did that. You said 30-17, so we both had confidence.
And you had 28-14.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, it's hard to say going into a game they're going to score 48 points. So this wasn't a hard one to predict. You know what I mean?
And did it all sorts of ways. It wasn't just run, wasn't just passing, wasn't just defense. Everyone was flying high for us.
And you nailed it on the last week's Who You Got, right?
Really nailed it, because I also added a little caveat of a bold prediction.
Well, tell us what your
So Miles Sanders, I said, was going to not only outrun Barkley, but double his
production.
And I think I mentioned it was just on the ground, but even if you take all-purpose yards for Barkley, Miles blew him out of the water.
Yeah, like 3-4 times.
Which makes you wonder, I mean, the Giants aren't a bad team, but we are just rolling really good. And then
I had my bold prediction was Jalen Hurts would score 2 rushing touchdowns. I'm calling a push because he got 1 rushing touchdown and was not in the game with like 9 minutes left. Yeah. So that's fair, right?
We can make that a push.
But you definitely got a dub.
Bold prediction. On everything there, I was pretty. Once again, I was just confident and going. Obviously, this is a divisional game, but we've just at MetLife we usually perform well there, and we fucking did it.
Not like this, though.
No,
Not
we're just.
Like this.
This is 2 weeks in a row that I was like, I'm going to shoot a little high on how many points the Birds are going to score, and they. I think almost 2 possessions each week have scored more than I thought they would.
Let's just do a gut reaction. Right after the game.
Relief, not even relief, because halfway toward at halftime, I felt relief. 12-1. What else can you say?
Yeah,
that's my reaction. Go Birds. Nothing bad. It's hard to. It's two weeks in a row. It's hard to find something bad to talk about.
That's a great problem to have, but it is hard to put a podcast together when everything is just good.
And then we had awesome Sunday dinner too. Thanks for that for Rachel. So it was just a great day. Getting a win in a 1 o'clock game. I always said 1 o'clock games are double-edged sword because if you lose,
it hurts all day.
The dinner don't even taste good. This one. That's a win I'll remember for a while, especially against the idiot Giants. How about you? Anything that caught your eye, you think?
Well, a lot caught my eye. My gut reaction to this game was I was comfortable for 4 hours. And really, that's not what you tune in expecting, but it's a great thing. I mean, we were just dominant. I knew the Giants were banged up, but we really smoked them. We smoked them, and there wasn't a lot of drama.
That's the thing, divisional game. You look for someone to get chippy. There was none of that. I think this was a game, I mean, midway through the third quarter, I think the Giants were just like, let's get out of here without any major injuries.
Yeah.
No one was, because if it's a close game there's some pushing and shoving in that second half that's expected to be seen, but they would have a 3rd and out and just walk right off, and didn't even see much. The only chirping I did see, and which will kind of lead us into our next kind of segments here, is when Sapos, our punter, went off. As an Eagles fan, I go, this is fine, we do it to people, but the fans were, because all you could see him was mouth, like, go fuck yourself, kind of. So they were chirping an injured punter, which, come on, it's a punter, guys.
Yeah. Well, they didn't have much else to cheer about.
Yeah. Spent tickets on those those big number tickets, and just to watch your team get blown out, that's hard.
There were a lot of Eagles fans down there. You missed it, but on the Jalen Hurts rushing touchdown, I told you he handed the ball to these 3 Eagles fans that were right in the end zone front row, which aren't the greatest seats because you're in the end zone. And when you get there, you're saying to your buddies, like, hopefully the Birds score a couple touchdowns down here. But you never expect the MVP caliber quarterback to hand you a ball. These are 3 grown men. None of them were on their cell phones. And they were so happy and so excited, just hug jumping like when you don't even know how to react.
There probably was a tear. There probably was some. Yeah. I mean, that's that guy. His kids are going to be telling about the story of the time my dad got a ball handed to him from Jalen Hurts.
Right. So let's get into the injuries real quick. Since you mentioned Sipos, he was in a walking boot after the game. So the Eagles, he could probably come back, but the Eagles signed a punter, this fella Curran, who has been a Pro Bowler 3 times.
Yeah.
He punted for the Titans for 9-10 seasons.
Did he kind of come out of retirement? Is the way when I read it.
Another guy we pulled off the streets. And let's be honest, Sipos is an average at best punter, so it's hard to really be worried about this one. Blankenship went down with what looked like a scary injury.
The way he was holding his knee, it was...
And when it's a non-contact injury, you think ACL.
And what a shame. We've been talking about him stepping in and just playing big, and to see a young guy go down in his 2nd or 3rd game or whatever, that's just a shame.
But his ACL isn't torn.
Yes, so
he can come back.
Yeah, because they did not put him on the IR. Which,
yeah. And that also brings us into we re-signed Anthony Harris, who was just cut from another team last week. And us Eagles fans are very familiar with Anthony Harris. He was a starter for us last season.
Oh, yeah. Oh, duh.
And the season before that. And he'll probably end up starting.
Yeah. Well,
at least a game or 2.
Yeah, well, I mean, a smart move. He got cut, but at least he's coming in knowing the system. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't even connect those dots. That's nice.
And then the other injury was just Lane Johnson, a strain. He said he could have came back in the game, but since we were smoking him, just precautionary. He sat out the rest of the game. And he should be fine. Everything looks good.
Yeah, he was. You could see he was standing on the sideline. He wasn't, sitting down or looking hurt. He was still high-fiving and stuff.
Yeah, like I said, he said he could have came back. That doesn't mean he's definitely going to start against the Bears, but knowing Lane the way we've seen, he's going to get on that field if
he has his say.
Yeah, but he might not, because the Eagles are really big on player safety. And honestly, you're 12-1. I wouldn't be upset if Jack Driscoll got the start.
But I think he has a game. He's got a number going right now, a record of some sorts of games in a row played, I believe.
No, it's Jason Kelsey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
So, relatively unscathed. And also on injuries, Dallas Goedert is available to come back against the Bears, and everything looks good. I expect him to play.
I gotta say, we kind of mentioned the top of the show. When you have a blow, it's hard to put together a podcast when there's nothing but just high-fiving and everything was awesome.
Why, are we doing bad or something?
No, I think it's a double-edged sword, because usually on Sundays we have a tight butthole for 4 straight hours, and we're relaxed, and it's fun to just hop on a show and be like, aren't we the best?
Yeah.
I mean, offensively, we, like you said, it speaks for itself. If we have our second string in almost the whole fourth quarter, basically, that speaks for itself.
That's 2 weeks in a row now.
Yes, and you have to. That's I love seeing that because now you're getting some guys that have they're getting experience, and that is just as good as for down the line, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And 8 of those points that the Giants did score were against backups, so that's kind of a wash.
Yeah, I think Tyrod Taylor had as many yards as Barkley did the whole game.
That's worth mentioning too. I mean, we're beating them so bad they took their starting quarterback out.
Yeah.
So yeah, injuries. That's all on the injury front. Offensive line, unbelievable. Again,
Fix the penalties.
fix the penalties in a big way.
I
think we had 2 penalties all game.
I like to bitch about the refs. It makes me feel good. Well refed game. It's hard to throw flags when you have a team that's just dominating in every way. We got it done on the ground, in the air. We even tried to get a little creative. And Jalen is just insane right now. It's so fun to watch. Just when you think he's an escape artist, we all knew that, but you're seeing him take not even that second stride. He's hitting like a third stride of seeing all his receivers, getting out of the pocket, and then the scramble drill is something. I don't know if they're practicing or whatnot, but
a lot of it's not scramble. A lot of his rush yards are design runs.
No, but the point I was going to get at is we talked about Devontae Smith, like those scrambles where he hold his kind of cut back, and he's so good at getting those like sideline little cuts, catches, like when Jalen scrambles out.
You mean, so throw it on the run.
Mm-hmm, throw it on the run, and sometimes it's just 4 yards, but that is now it's 2nd and 6 as opposed to 2nd and 10, which is completely opens up your playbook in so many ways.
Yeah, I mean he's not really doing anything wrong right now. One thing I liked out of the offense was another week where the backup tight ends, got involved. You could tell that they're actually like part of the game play.
Yeah,
the game plan. It wasn't just like one of those sideline desperation throws. Like they were part of the offense. I mean, when Dallas Goedert goes down,
and I kind of noticed they're not like trying to hide the tight ends in run plays. Like they're running, the tight ends are blocking better than I thought they were capable of.
Yeah,
so
Jack Still's been a good blocker, but Calcaterra's getting his nose in there a little bit.
It's kind of like tight end by committee almost to make up for that lack of.
We run mostly 11 personnel anyway, but when we do run 12 and we have 2 tight ends on the field, they both had catches. They both were productive, and that's the most you can hope for from backups.
Yeah.
But Jalen was accurate. He threw a great anticipation. He ran for another touchdown, 77 yards rushing. His numbers are not eye-popping, but he's so in control.
We had the run. I mean, I already patted Miles on the back a bunch, but our whole running team together was getting it done.
Boston Scott, the giant killer, got another touchdown
and a huge return, kick return on that.
Yeah.
That was just.
I don't know why it took them so long to put him back there again.
Yeah,
he's good at it. You're confident.
I'm just thinking now. Did they put him back there because Covey had to start holding field goals and they didn't want to risk?
No, he was returning last week too.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I think Quez Watkins was a failed experiment.
Yeah.
And Covey was okay. But Boston Scott's done it. And honestly, it's nice to get him another touch or two.
Yeah, because he has that. He has that explosiveness. Like I say, he's like a. And this is not being mean to him at all, because Darren Sproles was awesome, but he's like a B-rated Darren Sproles kind of. Same build,
he's a little guy.
Little pinball kind of, but can run hard.
And unless you have a return specialist, running backs have the vision better than, say, a wide receiver for just following those blocks and seeing those small, tight lanes.
And they're going to get hit, and someone like Quez Watkins is a little bit lankier, so you're risking fumbles, but just injury-wise, you know what I mean? Their running backs get hit more, and they're more used to it. So
real quick on offense, on that first touchdown drive, Jalen hit 7 different receivers.
Wow.
So that just shows you he understands exactly what's going to happen on every play. He knows where everyone's going to be. That's just a massively positive sign.
How did that not get talked about? Yeah, that is huge.
Yeah, yeah. In game time, you don't even notice it, but yeah. Meaning, you got your 3 receivers making catches, backs making catches, which I've been bitching about not seeing enough of. So yeah, this was like
this was a showcase.
It was a showcase. It really was for Jalen. And Shane Steichen, Sirianni, everything is clicking right now. And I don't expect a letdown game. Usually you expect a letdown game. I just don't see it right now.
And I think that the people have talked about it, and you just see there was a perfect visualization during the game of we were up by 2-3 possessions at least, and it was right after A.J. Brown's touchdown, I think, and it's like A.J. Brown and some of the other wide receivers, and they're laughing, having a good time, and Jalen is just sitting on the bench like stone face, like not mad, but just like, he's like, not till this game is over do I crack a smile.
Yeah, that's getting a lot of play around the media world. It's not surprising to somebody who watches the Eagles every week. There are times where I'm like, I wish he would show a little bit more emotion, but he's clearly the MVP right now.
Yep.
People are still talking about Mahomes being ahead of Jalen because he's got 33 passing touchdowns. But if you count Jalen's rushes and his passing touchdowns, he has 32. And the problem is just that passing touchdowns are ranked way higher in people's minds than rushing touchdowns. And that's just dumb.
Right now,
especially designed rushing touchdowns.
Yeah. Right now, I would take Jalen over Mahomes. I'm sure there's people out there.
You mean to lead your team?
Yes.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
Age, I like the kid. I think Mahomes is more injury prone, which, it's not that he's had a bunch of injuries, and maybe it's favoritism. Maybe I'm being a homer.
This is a statement. This is going to take the media world by storm.
And I will stick with it. Especially in our offense, when you were saying that, I was like, well, what about 4th and 1s? How many?
Oh man!
How many 1 yard conversions does Mahomes have? That just is like an automatic sometimes.
Right now we are automatic with that, and now we're running plays off the quarterback sneak.
Yeah,
like option plays, just to totally rub it in the other team's faces. But real quick on the quarterback sneak thing, Mahomes, I think 2 seasons ago, got injured on a quarterback sneak, and now they don't run it anymore.
See?
Hurt his knee.
And there's a variation of it. And I really would like to be a fly on the wall when they practice that or talk about it, because they'll go to the left, they'll go to the right, or just, the double butt push, the one announcer was calling it. So
it's got to be so fun.
Yes.
To just be like, you guys know what we're doing. We're doing it. Success. Moving on.
Go ahead. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that means if you get this team on a 3rd and short, even if you stop it, they're going to do it again.
Yeah.
And at that point, with 2 tries, it's like a 99% success rate.
And one of the only times we didn't convert it was just a goofy snap. So
yeah. So Jalen accounted for another 3 touchdowns. Miles Sanders had 2. Devontae had 1. A.J. Brown had 1. Boston Scott had 1. We could have kept scoring.
Mm-hmm.
We could have kept scoring. And this is something we're going to talk about moving forward, but if we beat the Bears, which we're going to, and if we do beat Dallas, that will lock everything up. So in the upcoming episodes, we're really going to have to talk about, are we going to rest starters or not? But we're not going to talk about that now. We're going to talk about the defense. 7 sacks. We now lead the NFL in sacks.
And it's about time, and you know what?
Last year we were last, or 31st. Now we lead the NFL.
And I'll eat my words. I'm a big enough man to admit that, during some of these games, I'm like, Gannon needs to freaking blitz. But I think he was saying, like, if we can do what we're built to do, I don't need the blitz. So
if you're ahead, you don't need the blitz because this team can rush the passer. It's unbelievable to turn around from one season to the next.
And you've seen money like Riddick, the money's paying off.
Yeah, and we worried about him in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
But the defense is now the top-ranked defense when you accumulate all the stats. So we're rocking with the top-ranked defense, second-ranked offense, and like 24th ranked special teams. But
let's a little bit. 4 weeks ago, we were saying, what the hell happened to our run defense? And in the last 2 weeks, we shut down, I think, one of the top 5 running backs in the league. So,
not only is Fletcher Cox playing as good as he's played in 4 seasons, Linval Joseph is playing really well.
Really well.
And Jordan Davis is back. And you can see he's up to like 20-some snaps now. He's pretty much back from that ankle. I'm sure it's still sore, but it's healed. I mean, good luck, especially when we take a lead. You can't use a Derrick Henry or a Saquon Barkley every play because you got to pass.
And then we have 2 of the best cornerbacks in the league. So
yeah.
It is really a how do you attack our defense, and the answer is only Washington did it because we shot ourselves in the foot enough.
Yeah. You can't, the only way you can attack this defense is with a really balanced attack. And that means your defense has to stop our offense, at least a little bit. So, we dominated Saquon. He had less than 30 yards, which is unbelievable. He's banged up, but
yes.
we don't, that caveat at this point in the season is like everyone's banged up, okay?
Unless it's like a sprain in the knee or something like that, then, I'm not going to listen to that.
Right. We beat Jones up, right? We said 7 sacks. I think there was 12 hits. And they pulled him at the end of the game. So obviously they were like, all right, we're not going to win, and these reps are too dangerous.
And I mentioned just on the sack thing, when we started putting our secondary in, Brandon Graham was staying out there because he's like, they're in passing territory. And, they're only going to be passing. He's like, you're not taking me off that field. And then he got another sack, and he was like, all right, I think that's good enough.
He's 35 now, almost. And he had 3 sacks. He's going to get double-digit sacks this season.
He's playing some of his best, That's hard to measure because he's played a lot of great football in his life, but he's playing some of his because he's got a great supporting cast. He's got linebackers, and
this defense has so many guys on it to just rotate in and out. And on that defensive line, they're always fresh. It's like 2017.
Yep.
The rotation. I mean, Milton Williams got a sack this week. Javon Hargraves is playing well. Again, I have to reiterate, like, I don't know, when they brought Linval Joseph and Sue in, Fletch took that personally, I think. He's bringing it. I mean, not having to play 70 snaps is really helping everybody.
Dude, one of the tackles, he bullied Saquon Barkley. Like, he seriously grabbed and put him backwards, and
that's what we got so used to seeing him do, and he was just tailing off. But what else do you say about the defense? The only thing that stood out to me was when Reed Blankenship went down and Kayvon Wallace had to play safety. He's just not fast enough to cover.
Yeah.
He's a good tackler. But, listen, if they brought Anthony Harris back, they really don't want him playing too many snaps.
Yeah.
Kayvon Wallace. And this is his 4th year, Kayvon. So, like, if he hasn't really shown
that step.
In the 4th year, you know what a player is going to be or what he's not going to be.
Sort of backtrack to injury. Do we know about Gardner Johnson? Any timetable? Have they updated any timetable on him?
Still on IR for another week, but he's healing up.
Okay. If they're not mentioning,
it's going to be pain management at this point.
Yeah. If they're not mentioning it, that's usually
Yeah. The only other thing I want to mention about the defense was T.J. Edwards had another great game. And if you have to pick one, who's your defensive MVP for this team going into Week 15?
All like throughout the season.
The culmination of the season up to this point.
Yeah.
Who's your defensive MVP?
I mean, it was Gardner Johnson until he got injured because just all the interceptions. But Edwards, right?
Yeah.
He's leading his men. He's obviously, making the adjustments on the line because we're being successful. That's probably an easy one to go with.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's out there like every snap, running the defense, calling the calls. It's either him or Hassan Reddick, right?
Yeah, but I'm Edwards just because overall he's doing more. I mean, he can stop the run, which I think that was the question on him a little bit, right?
No, it was his coverage.
His coverage.
Somehow he's gotten faster. I don't know.
He's excited.
Oh, and also Slay gave up a touchdown pass, which he mentioned in his post game pod that he's salty about. But
Can't be perfect, but he's
He's
the type of
close.
guy I think
He's close to perfect.
he'll take that and he'll turn that into good fuel.
Yeah, so that's all I got on defense. And Josh Sweat had another sack. He could have had it too. I mean, the guy, he's going to get double-digit sacks. We're going to have 4 or 5 guys with double-digit sacks this season, which hasn't happened since I don't even. It's been a long time. We haven't even had a double-digit sack guy.
Yeah.
In a decade. So, real quick, special teams. Sippos went down on a really gutsy play, but why block punts, man? I know we're backed up, but like we've had block field goals, block punts. I mean, these things, if they happen in the playoffs, you lose a game because of stuff like that.
That's a season-ending thing in the playoffs.
Right, that's what happened to Green Bay last year.
Yeah.
They should have beat the 49ers, but block field goal lost him a game. 2
weird things, actually. For that weird punt that the Giants had where it slipped out of his hand. It literally just slipped out of his hands.
Yeah.
It was. I've never seen anything like it. And then to get the kick, which only went like 20 yards maybe, and we both were like, awesome. And then it got even better for us because I've never heard of a legal kick, and I was like, I think they just had to make that up on the spot.
Yeah, nobody. I didn't even know you could do an illegal kick, like, you know. But what's funny, because what he accidentally did is like a drop kick, which is how you kick in rugby, and he's a rugby guy.
So it was just natural.
So maybe he had a brain fart, and he accidentally was like,
maybe
muscle memory.
When they show in slow motion, he just flobbled the ball, dude. It was funny to watch, and they kept showing the camera on him. And as a player, you know that you're sitting there, he's walking back, trying to brush it off, but he knows in his mind, like, that camera's on me so hard right now. This might lose me my job.
Yeah, you look cool with that cool long hair until you do that.
Yep.
Until you do
then
that.
It's like, cut your hair.
Yeah, right.
If that's a high school coach, he's telling you to cut your hair after that.
You're not on my team with that hair. Jake Elliott had to punt. He was okay, but like I said earlier, we brought in a punter, and Covey had to hold on a field goal, and we made a field goal. So, and Covey had another good return. Not like, it was solid.
I like to see the what did Jordan Mailata call him? The prairie dog running around. Do you see that little clip?
Yeah.
He's like, I love watching that prairie dog running around.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like he's 16.
He does, dude.
Okay, that's it on specials, man. Boston had another good return. We talked about that.
Yep.
He should stay back there, regardless.
Agreed. So one of our, I know you don't like when I do this, but our segments, Bum and Beast. I think it's fun. This was another really freaking hard. It was easy on one side, really hard on the other side. I'll start, not to mention how right I am again, but Miles Sanders just killing it. I like seeing him hit a hole hard, quick, and then also seeing him have the patience on some of them. And with that offensive line, it's really sweet to see him kind of take a stutter step and then, let his offensive linemen do what they do.
He's patient.
And take off, catching some balls out of the backfield.
Yeah. Two touchdowns too last game. He has 11 now this season. He had 0 last season. How does that happen? Is a contract here really that?
Nick Sirianni is you got to give him some credit, right? I mean, it's
you got to give Sirianni, Steichen,
the whole office. Howie Roseman getting some big names for us and stuff, but yeah, really complete turnaround of a team.
It's really remarkable.
Really fun.
Who's your bum?
Once again, hard to say. I'm gonna go with our punt, which we kind of just talked about, just because of that blocked punt. Special teams again, we're fixing some things, but it really added salt to the wound of Sapas almost pulled off a first down after that blocked punt. He tried to put the effort in and got injured on it. So I know you're just supposed to pick a person, but I'm just gonna go with our punt team right there.
Okay.
We were back in our end zone, but this is pros. We should be able to not give multiple blocks up. So
okay, all right. For me, my beast is BG. 3 sacks. He's not playing that many snaps. I mean, he's playing like less than 30 snaps, if not less than 20 snaps. He's just a great Eagle.
Yeah.
He's just a great Eagle. He gets everybody going, everybody in a good mood. and he's one of the most fun guys to hear speak. And you're just really happy for him.
Yeah, after a very serious injury last year, coming back, it did. He did start off a little slow, but
Not really. I don't think he wasn't having 3-sack games.
Yeah.
But,
When I say slow, I guess I'm comparing it to Dow.
And
so.
it's underrated BG as a run-stopping defensive end. He really is just Hassan Reddick and Josh Sweat are great pass rushers, better pass rushers than BG, but all-around game, give me BG. And also he stripped Tom Brady in the Super Bowl, and that was fucking awesome. And then you stole my bum, so I'm going to go with...
It's hard.
There's no bum on the Eagles. So I'm going to go with Julian Love of the Giants.
Yeah,
He let Devontae Smith catch, what was a touchdown pass, but it was not a good decision by Jalen Hurts. And I guess he went for the pick and missed it. He should have demolished
They showed that play.
Devontae Smith.
Yeah, when it happened in real time, I was like half stood up out of my chair because I was like, no, season's over for that guy.
He's going to the hospital.
And they showed it so many times, different angles, and nobody can explain. Like, he kind of looks like he went for the pick, but he was like way off.
It's one of those plays where it almost looked like he was running too fast.
Maybe. And we kind of mentioned, and I really hope this isn't the case because I'd be really butthurt. There's no way that he didn't hit him because he didn't want to get the penalty.
I don't think it's out of the question that that's what happened. But even if you take the penalty, it's better than giving up a touchdown pass.
Yeah.
So I think if he had it over, you got to secure the tackle, if nothing else. So I'm sure he's getting coached up, but who else could be a bum? I mean, the Eagles were just so dominant. I don't have any bum for the Eagles. And I'm glad Julian Love messed up that play. But, I mean, Jalen Hurts got away with one. And great job by Devontae Smith, not only to get in the end zone, but he didn't alligator arm that. That's a big-time ballsy
He
play.
heard footsteps coming, and
there's no way he did it. He knew where the
to...
safety was. And maybe these offensive players have more confidence in situations because of the rules on defenseless receivers. But either way, that's the closest thing I have to a bum.
Yeah.
And real quick, as a side beast, that play Siposs made on the blocked punt to almost get the first down, that dude's an athlete.
Yeah.
Do you remember on the blocked field goal when he ran the guy down from behind and tackled him before he got in the end zone? So it's a shame he's hurt. He's probably not. They're not going to bring him back in the playoffs if this other punter, this current guy, does the job. But the dude's an athlete, and he almost got that first down.
He was right. He's putting it out there because that's scary, dude. These are giants, even on special team, man. And he just
those Aussies, though. I mean, those rugby players are used to getting hit a bit.
So a lot of punters come in from rugby. One thing to mention about talking about the penalties, Epps. Basically, same as it happened last week in the end zone, trying to make a play, and they threw the personal.
He got one? I don't remember that.
Yeah, in the one of their passing touchdowns, Epps went. It's like basically the same as happened last week in the end zone. Tried to put his helmet on the ball, and he came in flying. They threw the penalty. That's when they got the 2-point conversion.
Okay.
Because they assessed the penalty.
Yeah, the game was over by then, so it's possible I didn't even register it.
But I mean. Like we talked about, we never followed up. But
he didn't get fined last week. If that's what you were going to say.
I was going to say
he never got the fine, so he got to keep his game check.
Yeah, when it happened, I remember going, "This is 2 weeks in a row. This guy's playing for free." But good, and don't keep doing it, Epps. I mean, you're just trying to make a play.
Don't be a Julian Love.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. But so let's move into next week because this is an exciting time for us. It's weird because I still am so excited for Sundays, but I want this weeks to go slow and just be able to
savor it.
Yeah.
That's why I watch. You make fun of me. That's why I watch every media outlet. I watch so much football coverage. I can't get enough. If the sun's up and I'm home, that's what I'm watching.
It gets boring though.
Not for me.
And some of them are really good. Some of them, but yeah, one answer like a game like this. they all have to say the same thing? Did anyone, was there one person you go, I didn't think about that?
No, but it's like celebrating with your boys over and over and over again. But I really like the whole sports media thing.
But I do get it a little bit different than you because you're not really on social medias too much, but like I follow those groups, so I'm getting that type of...
Yeah, you get it in small doses. I like the long form. But anywho, let's get into the Bears-Eagles. Another away game. It's going to be cold and windy. But just overall, the Bears have one player that can make plays on offense and really no players that can make plays on defense.
And you're referring to Justin Fields?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. I was going to say that's going to be our test. Have we played like a really strong scrambling quarterback
Nobody in the NFL can scramble like Justin Fields.
Yeah.
So this is definitely a unique challenge.
Yeah, so let's move into our predictions of the week.
Okay.
Got a great win in the past. On to the next. So I'll let you start here. Why don't you give me your score predictions up first?
Okay. This is a little tough because I think again we are going to not have our starters in the whole game, so it's hard to predict a big score. But give me 35-21 because I think Justin Fields is going to make some play. And like you were saying, we haven't really faced a challenge like this. The kid is he's got the speed, Vic speed. He's got a good arm, but they really don't throw much. But yeah, give me 35-21.
It'll be interesting to see if they put a spy on him or something.
We don't have anyone that can run with him. He's that fast.
Yeah, kid's good. He's fun to watch.
Yeah.
But my score prediction, going a big win again of 48-12 Eagles. I think we're just gonna three-peat of starting off strong, putting them in a position where they have to pass more than I think, get them off balance to say. And yeah, I think we both can have the bold prediction of our starters can be out of this game.
Yeah, for real. It kind of sucks when it happens.
Well,
but it means we're killing them.
Yes, and the Bears had some ups and downs.
They've lost 6 of 7, or their last 6.
Yeah,
they've definitely stopped. They don't really want to win games. I'm not going to say they're tanking, but they traded away their best defensive player. They can't play defense.
Yeah, like who do they have? That's the thing. I'm racking my brain going like, they don't have any weapons.
They got Justin Fields. They got that kid Mooney as his receiver. Montgomery and Herbert are decent running backs, but they really are a ghost town in terms of talent.
Yeah, which is I don't want to say a shame because it's in the NFL. If you're not the Eagles, you can go yourself. But it is a shame because like Chicago is like I
feel bad for the
fans. There's a lot of fans that they hurt, and
they're another team stuck in this cycle of like getting some hope and then tearing it down, getting a new coach, it not working out.
You know what might be...
which the Eagles have avoided mostly in a long time.
We've been good. Yes, we've been pretty good even when we have... Look at last year. Somehow we got in those playoffs.
Yeah.
But it's going to be interesting. We have... against the Bears, we've had 2 games where special teams, the double doink... You know what I mean? Like, our special teams were in a weird situation. I think it's going to be not a close game. But, if you were writing this story, there's going to be a special team, something weird happening.
Especially because it's so windy there.
Sure, yeah.
That's the biggest challenge I see in this game is the weather. A lot of players, Philadelphia gets cold, but it's been pretty mild so far for most of our games. And just the wind. We'll see how Jalen handles the wind.
But if we have to get it done on the ground, we've proven we can do that.
And I think we can do whatever we want on this team.
Yeah. So
their defense is bad.
This is going to be hopefully another laid back Sunday for us. That's always nice.
So let's do our who you got predictions.
Who you got? So I'm gonna. I know I always kind of break the rules a little bit, but I think our tight end, because of the wind, I don't think you're going to see. I think you're going to see our tight end core, whether it be out of the three of them, really. I think you're going to see, I'm going to say 2 scores out of our tight end.
Which tight end?
Well, that's why I'm saying tight end by committee. That's why I'm not picking one because...
Oh, okay, you're saying...
I'm just saying, yeah, that core of the three, they
two touchdown receptions by a tight end.
One of our tight ends.
Okay, I hope so. We'll see if Dallas plays. He's eligible to play.
That would make it a lot easier for me.
Then you might have to go 3. But either way, that is pretty bold because we haven't had a tight end get in the end zone since Dallas went out.
And I'm just wondering if with that wind,
keep it short.
Keeping them short, doing those cross rub patterns and stuff like that.
Okay.
That'd be nice because that's like the one thing we haven't seen our offense do yet. We've have our wide receivers score, running backs, quarterback.
It's hard to be bold with a team playing this well.
Yeah.
But anything can happen. My who you got prediction, I like to go with the defensive side of the ball. I'm going to predict another 6+ game, 6+ sack game. And I'm going to predict another interception, at least one interception, regardless of who. We haven't really had a lot of takeaways in the last couple games. I really would like to see another interception. And as a side, who you got? Give me Bradbury getting another pick.
Okay.
But my main prediction is 6+ sacks again. I would love to see this Eagles team take the season lead on sacks and keep that lead. It's going to be tough.
Especially, that's what I was going to say, because against Justin Fields, that's a real test.
But he's going to be scrambling around, and if you get him behind the line of scrimmage, it's a sack.
Yeah.
Regardless if he's trying to run or throw. So we'll see. This is just an interesting kind of thing. I don't know if anybody's watching a show that's not an Eagles fan, but it's just funny. Like, Eagles fans are weird in that we like watching defensive football. I personally get, like, especially when our offense is just killing it, I like watching our defense play more than the offense. Sacks, big hits. Like, we're back at that point where it's been a long time where, like, when our defense has a team in a 3rd and long, something good's going to happen. For how long was it, like, we were just worried they're going to get a reception, they're going to get this?
I think a part of that, and maybe not, and this can be all over fan bases, but fantasy has had a lot to do with that. I think there's a lot of people who watch football solely because of fantasy football, so they want to see offensive, high-scoring games.
I get it. That's why I'm saying I think Eagles fans are unique because, like, the Jimmy Johnson era and stuff, lots of blitzing, and even going further back, Reggie White, Jerome Brown. Like, I like watching our defense play right now, and it's been a while since it's been like that.
And I'll say, this is going to sound dumb because the impact is obviously way more important, but I think a sack is almost more, a big, nice sack is more fun to watch than an interception.
It is.
Like, obviously the interception's better because we get the ball.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
But when we, was that this game we smacked? No, that was the game we watched after, it was a rookie quarterback in
Purdy.
First play. Oh,
Brock
dude.
Purdy, yeah, he got murdered.
I mean, they threw the flag, but, dude, that welcome to the NFL, man. That was...
Yeah.
And that wasn't even my team. I didn't even care at that point. We won. We're just watching football, and that was like... That gets you out of your chair.
And credit to him. He got up and kept tossing the ball.
Yeah, and I did just want to add, I'll make I think we started doing like a lot of bold predictions this episode of certain things. Jordan Davis will cause a turnover.
Okay.
I'm going to make a bold prediction. Jordan Davis will cause, I say that because maybe rush, and this will be hard to really, but to add a rush to make that interception happen, or just a...
So like a quarterback hit that turns into an interception or a forced fumble or something, or a tip ball.
Yeah.
He's got the size and athletic ability. He should, if he focused on it, he could be a big, like, it's underrated how big a tip ball is.
Mm-hmm. There's a small documentary out about it. It's really interesting because they didn't keep that stat for a really long time.
Yeah, batted balls. Real quick, just some things that really stood out that happened during the game. Miles Sanders went over 1,000 yards, and it's the first time since Shady was around that we have a 1,000-yard rusher.
2014.
Okay, right. A.J. Brown went over 1,000 yards in this game. I think Nelson Aguilar was the last 1,000-yard receiver we've had.
Hasn't happened since 2014.
Okay. Hassan Reddick is the first ever 10-plus sack guy on 3 different teams in the history of the NFL.
That's a cool one.
How about that? And
I don't have a year for that.
And then Jalen Hurts is the MVP. I'm just sick of hearing about any... Dude, Patrick Mahomes threw 3 picks last week. How is he still ahead of Jalen Hurts? Jalen Hurts has done 3 picks all season.
I thought there was another stat out there I thought you were going to throw. I think it had to do with Jalen Hurts, but quarterback hasn't done blah, blah, blah since 2014.
I think it's 10-plus rushes and something about rush yards.
And pass
yards. He's the highest rated passer in the league. And also a big stat, in the last 3 games, we've scored 128 points, which is the biggest 3-stretch game we've had since like the 50s. And then just some side stuff. It's very possible that the Eagles take the Walter Payton Award with Brandon Graham. This is just me saying this. I haven't heard anyone say it, but I think it's very possible. BG for Walter Payton. BG for Comeback Player of the Year. He's going to get double digits, I think. Sirianni for Coach of the Year. Jalen MVP. Roseman Executive of the Year.
And Super Bowl
Is any
champs.
of that sound impossible?
No. I mean, the
Or a
Walter,
stretch?
everything. The only thing I couldn't really make a comment on with
Yeah.
is the Walter Payton, just because I don't know any of the other. There's a lot of great
Yeah, we
guys
don't even know
there.
what how they vote on that.
Yeah.
What's the criteria to win it? But it's a great season so far. We're freaking 12-1, dude. We're gonna be 13-1, and more people are expecting that the Eagles will beat Dallas. It might not even be that close because they can't stop the run.
Yeah.
And then just the Phillies. You ready to get into that?
Do you want to do around the league first?
Yeah, let's do around the league real
That's because
quick.
that's going to be all in the NFL,
Okay,
right?
what do you got for around the league?
News segment that, especially on weeks like this where we could just,
I want to call it, wait, what? But that's more,
You were more prepared. I'll be honest, you were more prepared. So why don't you start off while I try and rack my brain for something?
Okay. Things that made me say, wait, what? Mahomes is still being considered an MVP candidate over Jalen Hurts. And if you're not a local Philly guy or Philly reporter, it just seems like everybody doesn't want Jalen to win, as if rushing touchdowns don't count. And at this point, it's getting a little ridiculous. Like, if you're objective, how can you say that it's not close or that Jalen doesn't have the edge? Most valuable player. We're the best team. He's got the best passer rating.
Dominant winnings.
Yeah, the team's dominant. The offense is dominant, and you can't pick a flaw in his game. So the idea that, Josh Allen or Mahomes or Tua has had 2 shitty games, so he's not in the conversation. But it's just, I watch a lot of national stuff, and you have to force those guys to talk about the Eagles. But specifically the MVP thing, I know we've got 4 more games left, but as of week 14, I mean, how can you say Jalen isn't the leading candidate for MVP? And odds, I think the odds are that Jalen does lead as far as bettors are concerned, but just the national media. I just wanted to talk about real quick the 49ers. They're a scary team, dude. And this Brock Purdy kid,
Yeah.
he looks better than Jimmy G. He's confident.
Yeah, I mean, not even saying I didn't get to watch a lot of them, but it wasn't like Jimmy G was doing anything crazy. They just have a really, really good defense.
They have a great defense, but I mean, how many injuries can a team sustain and still keep winning? I think they're the biggest threat to us in the NFC. I really do. Dallas, Dak doesn't scare me, and I could be wrong, but Dak doesn't really scare me. But McCaffrey looks incredible. If he can
He's-
stay healthy, dude, he can run routes like a receiver. He can run out of the backfield. They maul people. And like you said, their defense is unbelievable. And if they do, win out, you have to say Kyle Shanahan might be the coach of the year because you don't lose Trey Lance, Jimmy G, and have to go to Mr. Irrelevant and keep winning games. And he didn't look like just a game manager. Like he made some good.
You said
throws.
he said game manager, not sounded like you said gay manager.
He is a little fruity looking.
No, but like we said, that just first snap gets destroyed
Murdered.
and got right back up.
Yeah, I don't have this written down. Mike White got murdered this week too. The Jets
Did he?
quarterback. Oh my God! And he kept coming back in. He had to go to the hospital after the game. He was getting murked so often. So the Bills really beat him up. But let me just finish up here. Another 49ers note. Debo's down now. Could
Is
be.
he?
It could be. I don't know if it's season ender, but it looks like an IR stint. It doesn't look good. I mean, they can't keep winning with all these guys going out. And then
That's a big loss there, man.
huge loss.
Debo is a scary guy.
It's a huge loss too for people who just like to watch football because he's fun to watch.
Yeah.
He's really fun to watch. And then
You know, he kind of reminds me of a little bit
who?
Adrian Peterson. He's kind of got the size, and he can lay the shoulder, but he also has speed that I don't know,
Yeah.
you know.
He might be a better running back than a receiver, but he could just do both. It's
But
crazy.
yeah, that's what I mean. Just like the way it deceptively fit. I mean, it's hard to tell, but yeah, like when I look at him, I go, all right. And then you see him run, you're like, that was a lot faster than I thought he should be. But
And then real quick, Deshaun Watson. I mean, what a shit show. He looked like trash again for the Browns. I know he hasn't played in 2 years, so he's got a good excuse. But like, just all the bullshit that's going around him. The Cleveland Browns are always the Cleveland Browns. It's another thing, and he just doesn't look good. And the Eagles are the best team. That's all I got for around the league.
I don't have cool ones like yours, and this is probably not going to be news to anybody.
You thought they were cool?
They were interesting.
Thank you.
I didn't get to prepare a lot for this because this was a very, very new segment.
Yeah, I did drop it when I got here.
And I was like, that's a good idea. But they're not going to have a Pro Bowl this year. Wait, what?
What? Good.
Yeah, really good. Which I think this is going to be more fun to watch, and I think they used to do, but they're just going to have a week long of like games and challenges and
Yeah,
stuff.
like skills competitions and
Yeah.
stuff. And the best part about that is like how many guys made it to the Pro Bowl as alternates because guys didn't want to go.
Yeah.
Now the guys will show. So the Pro Bowlers that deserve it will go to the Pro Bowl.
Here's my thing. One, it's going to be. I think it's going to be a good way to like publicity for the players. Going to be a lot more time for them to talk to people. You know, get to learn to love your players a little bit more. There's a lot more camera time in between these games
right.
and
It's
stuff.
going to be like more NBA type stuff.
Yes,
They're not going to have helmets on for most of it.
Yeah. But then I'm trying to think like, all right, obviously quarterback games are going to be easy. I mean, maybe they'll do the 40 or some type of like relay racing or something.
Oh man, they got to do.
What are they going to do with the offensive line?
Yeah,
Just push
really.
push this bus.
Well, that's a reason to tune in because you're right. What the hell are they going to do?
Because it will be fun to see like if these guys could just kind of do what they want. Like if a wide receiver's like, yeah, I want to try to do the wide receiver thing. Like it would be fun seeing big dudes out there trying to track
Yeah.
down balls.
Maybe they'll run 40s and like race each other and stuff. But yeah, what are they gonna do? Cone drills?
Yeah.
Push the sled good?
Yeah.
We'll see. That's actually a really interesting point. I didn't think of that.
And who
But
knows?
good job to finally trash the Pro Bowl game because it was not football and nobody liked it. No, literally nobody liked it.
Yeah, and all it is just waiting for an ACL to be torn or something, you know, because
Yeah.
these players are cold. They're basically coming off, you know, if they didn't make the playoffs, having a couple weeks of just hanging out. And then
Are they still doing it in Hawaii? Do you know?
I don't know that, no.
Because that's another cool, like, it is cool to get to do a trip to Hawaii. And like I said, I just like that the first guys that got the most votes for Pro Bowl will show. Because, like, Josh Sweat made it to the Pro Bowl last season. He didn't really deserve it. He was good, but whatever.
Yeah, I was also like these old quarterbacks, you know what I mean? Like,
I hope that they bring in alumni. Like, if you could get Deion Sanders to run, like, 100-yard
I'm
races with like, Tyreek Hill or whatever, that would be
let's
so cool.
actually, this is not in the NFL, but Deion Sanders is going to a different college.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I mean, slapping. There's got to be more to that story that I don't think will ever come out, or not for a few years. And just taking his son, he's like, "This is our quarterback."
Yeah.
And
how many got? He told the players at Colorado straight up, like, enter the transfer portal because I'm not keeping a lot of you guys.
Yeah, he went in there and he was no nonsense at all. That first speech he gave
was weird. It's a weird situation. Why Colorado? I mean, they're the dregs of their conference.
And how many players were going to Jackson State just to
be left behind?
Or like, I mean, they committed. They could have committed a couple months ago, and they're like, "I'm going to get to fucking."
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the details of that, but yeah, it's a weird story. It's a big story.
I think more is going to come out that there has to be. It can't just be like, I'm bored here, I want to go somewhere else.
Yeah, because he's been propping up HBCUs.
Yeah,
it's his thing, and now he just bounced.
And I don't know much about Colorado State, but I feel like that's like almost the opposite of an HBU. It seems like a very
Colorado's a pretty white place.
Pretty white place is what I was thinking.
But I will say this. If he's successful there and they start having winning seasons, it will be really impressive because they've been shit. It's not. There's no good recruiting in that whole Midwest area. I mean,
a lot of players don't want to go there because it's Colorado. Like,
unless you're a skier or something.
Yeah.
And it's just there's no high school recruiting in that whole sector of the country.
Yeah, you want to come to the high plains where oxygen is.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. All right, let's get into the other sports real quick.
Yes. Let's talk about the Phillies. Moves keep happening. I mean, let's go. Let's go, Phillies, man.
I'm excited. I can't wait for baseball season. This is not the Phillies, but the Braves have made a trade to bring in a Gold Glove catcher, this Murphy fella, who can also hit. He'll probably bat 5th or 6th in their lineup. So they're gearing up too. But they traded away Wilson Contreras, who was their catcher last season, and he can hit the ball too. But I guess they wanted to copy the Phillies and bring in a Gold Glove talent at catcher.
What a bunch of biters!
But they lost their closer. Jensen went to the Red Sox, so I think they brought somebody else in. But it's really the best you can do in the offseason of baseball is watching the arms race, and I'm locked in. Okay, I cannot wait for this baseball season. The Mets are wheeling and dealing, but they're losing guys, bringing in guys to hopefully replace them. And also, one thing to watch is the Braves have still not signed Dansby Swanson, their young shortstop, good player. It looks like they're going to lose him. Now, they do have another young kid to replace him, of course. The Braves always have a great farm team. But the NL East is going to be it's going to be World War III, bro. It's going to be big time, and the Phillies are going to win it.
Because we're Philadelphia, and we started the country, basically. Ben Franklin.
I will say, we cannot have a repeat of last season where we don't have the arms to keep up. And our bullpen still needs additions.
Did we not, since last episode, we signed somebody, a pitcher?
Was that this week? We brought in this Strom kid, left-handed reliever.
It was nothing like groundbreaking.
No, but you know, it's a piece. But we because we lost Robertson, we lost Eflin, we lost a couple other guys. But you know, we cannot run into a World Series where we're like, okay, after our top 3 guys, we're kind of like hoping.
We just knew that was going to happen. We were able to compete, and then it just like. They just had way more arms than we did.
Yeah,
and
the Astros had way more arms. So,
and cheated.
In any case,
that pitcher had stuff on his hands, and I want the league to look into it.
He was unbelievable. I can't even think of his name right now. That lefty throwing curveballs, Valdez maybe. Okay, and then Embiid went for 53 the other night. The Sixers are underwhelming, but they're winning some games. Again. Around Christmas, the New Year, we'll really start
do our deep dives
on. Maxey will be back. Harden's playing all right, but I don't know. I'm starting to look more at Doc Rivers like they're just not. he was brought here to win a championship.
Yeah.
And so far, this team doesn't feel like a championship team. And Embiid's great. He's the ultimate weapon, all this, all that. But we are a different build than most of the successful teams in basketball because we run through a big man. And we'll see. We'll see. And then, the Flyers.
He shut down LeBron. When we played the Lakers, dude, apparently LeBron was like trash.
Yeah. Anthony Davis playing really well this season. But, yeah.
Yeah, so that's...
one cool thing about New Orleans...
Nolans.
The Pelicans,
Pelicans
are
is a
leading
cool
the
name.
West, man. They're
Really?
leading the West right now. Right, and then you got Memphis as the second team in the West. That's really cool. Nobody cares about the Lakers right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say like if we didn't have the 76ers, I think like when the Pelicans came to the league, I'm a Pelicans fan now.
It is a cool name.
It's cool. It's different.
Better than Commanders.
Oh yeah.
Just pick an animal. That's what I always say. If you're gonna start a new franchise, just pick an animal.
Yeah, and just don't do like bear. Don't do or jag. The 5 that every high school.
A panther.
Yeah.
Carolina Panthers.
But yeah, so that's the sports that are interesting. Nothing's happening for the Union right now. It's pretty quiet, obviously.
Ooh, real quick. There is a Netflix series out right now called Captains that follows 6 captains from the World Cup and their teams. And one of the teams is the Jamaican national team with Andre Blake, goaltender of the year, I believe, Union's goaltender. So check that out.
He's been our goalie for a long time.
Yeah. But the Jamaican national team is not good.
But
But you know
got
who
a good
else is
goalie.
not good? The Flyers.
God, it sucks to even have to talk. I mean, we have to mention them. It does bother me that we have a shitty hockey team because, especially with us living in Pittsburgh, they just always somehow they have always that leg to stand on. It would be really nice if the fucking the Penguins weren't doing good right now because every time I mention Steelers suck, they go, yeah, but the Flyers suck even worse than we suck. And I'm like, God damn it, you're right though.
Yeah. And the Penguins are playing well now. But
Yeah.
hockey's gay. All right.
Yeah,
And Pittsburgh doesn't have a basketball team. So.
Yeah, go watch the Duquesne. What's Duquesne's mascot, Rachel?
I don't know.
I have a weird one. I forget what it is. I don't know. Either way, good episode. We had to do a little bit of stopping and starting, just so you guys know. And that's on me. That's on me because I got distracted, and I'm gonna get better for you. I'm like an athlete, okay? I'm gonna watch.
You're doing fine.
I'm gonna watch the
Everything is
game
fine.
tape. I'm gonna train. It's gonna be like a Rocky compilation, where I'm punching meat, and that's because we're gonna have steak tonight.
Let's do a montage.
A montage of me. Just do it like Rocky, and you'll ride a bike, but it'll be a stationary bike, and I'll just be jogging in place.
Okay. All right. That's gonna happen.
Yeah. But this has been Homesick Philly Bros, presented by AML Media. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I'm Gene Labordi. It's my brother Stephen Labordi. Rachel back there doing all the magic. And that's my wife. All right. But thanks, guys, and let us know if there's anything you want us to add into the show. Oh, Rachel, plugs. I was looking so forward to the high five, I forgot about plugs.
All right. So we are on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. I have all of our handles on the screen, so take a screenshot if you're listening or if you're watching the video. Otherwise, head to our website, AML.NEWS.BLOG. There's direct links to everything there.
Check it out. Share it with your friends and family. We love you. Thanks for coming. Bye.